Alright everyone, welcome back. This is Bike Talk episode 31 where I review or roast your bikes. And yeah, here we go. First up we got John. He says, "Hi Gary, so new to your vids. Love the vibes. Thanks John. I'm from Sacramento and here's his bike." He asked for a roast. So first roast is, this pick is just way too close for a first pick. Let's see if we can get a full bike shot here. Alright, here we got the full bike running a GT. First up, got to roast him for having too many mounts on his fork and not using it. I feel like that's a big no-no. Straight up, no bottom bottle cage, crank arm not straight, pedal not straight, non-matching valve cap here. He's got yellow on one and black on the other, non-matching unit tubes as well. You can see the black here, black valve, and then the silver valve. So you can probably fix those up. I feel like his fenders don't really match his bike as well, so probably too shiny for his bike. And then he got he's got some freaky stuff happening on here on his stem. Looks like he's got 3 spaces here, but then he's got no more spaces up to the top, which is kind of weird. But you can see this, he put his bright orange handlebar bag on here in front just to kind of cover everything up and to kind of attract your attention away from that. So yeah, nice try there, John. Yeah, let's look up the close-up pics now. Got some gold hubs happening. Yeah, not much to say. You can see here, really didn't want to show a close-up pic of the stem there, just hiding it. I feel like this is the first time he's kind of used this bag too. That's gonna probably get a bit of wear on that and looks pretty loose. And then yeah, here, not much on this one. Clean chain, clean cassette. I like that. I like the clutch on the XT. That's good. Good upgrade. Pretty fun bike overall. Looks like he upgraded a lot of parts, 1x7 probably. SLX shifter and then XT on the back. Nice. I don't like these tires though. These dark brown. If you watch, you already know. Alright, John sent another email and he broke the rules of Bike Talk. So unfortunately, this is a pretty cool bike. We'd like to look at it, but we'll have to skip it. Alright, next up we got Nick. Nick says, just review. So just a normal review. Nick from Germany, he got the frame for £20. Pretty good deal, I think. He's undecided again. Feel free to roast or review. We'll just do a review because he seemed a little scared. So yeah, overall pretty sick. I think he did a pretty nice upgrades to it. It seems like the bike is his size as well. It's got bottom bottle cage, crank arm is straight, pretty straight, pedal is straight. So he's looking pretty good. And I like the frame bag. The frame bag feels like fits its frame pretty well, except for this last section, but he might not need that. And then got some upright bars, got the Billy Bonkers on there, running tourney, low group, but seems like it works pretty well. Not sure what he's drinking here, some pink type of liquid, which is pretty, pretty suspect. Looks like Shimano brake fluid there. And then got some high-rise bars, got this crazy looking mobile mount as well. Got these Tektro Avid ripoffs, which look pretty cool. Bent cable there, got to fix that up. But yeah, overall pretty sick. I think these type of brown tires look slightly better, but yeah, still not a fan. I am a fan of this Cannondale typeface. I think this is probably the most superior one out of all the Cannondales. Overall, pretty sick bike. Looks fun. Thanks, Nick. All right, next up is Sven. He says, "Hi Gary, this is my winter bike and need an overhaul after 2 years." And it says, "It was matte black, which I didn't like, and I learned from your video that polish would make it glossy. Now I dig it." So he polished it up. And this is Sven, and it said, "Roast away." So alright, so first of all, gonna roast you for having SPDs in this kind of like mountainish terrain. Gonna be stepping off your bike a lot, so that's probably gonna be a pain. No bottle in bottle cage here. He does have matching valves. I think this fender's looking a little bit funky, so yeah, can probably fix that up, I think, because it's got a fender on the back and no fender on the front. I'm surprised he just didn't take this off, to be honest. It's got a nice Brooks saddle here. Nice new grips there, matching his headset and his brakes. These brakes look pretty nice. I wonder what these are. It's got some salmon pads on there. Running 1x8 LX on the rear. Here's the front. Got a little bag on the front. First illegal move. Put some brown tape with the blue. Not a fan of that. I do like how his tie is kind of camouflaged. into the background though. That's pretty cool. And then it's got some funky looking character on the front here. 1943, not sure what that is. 25 star, a lot of mythical kind of creatures in there. And then it's got an older style frame, I guess, or new style frame made to look type of vintage or classic. Got your ultra dynamicos on there. Yeah, overall pretty sick. Not too much to roast on this one. I think overall pretty good. It's got some nice, I think these are Dicomp / Rivendell shifters. I've used these before. They're pretty nice. And it's got the frame bag up the top there too. Cool. Nice one, Sven. Thanks for sending in. All right, next up is Billy. Billy says, hi, I'm from the UK, recently built this up. Subject, he wrote, no subject. Let me know what you think. Would like a review, but a roast where you see fit. So yeah, we'll just do a normal review. Don't want to hurt Billy's feelings. Okay, first up, I got to roast him for no bottle in bottle cage, crank arm not straight. I feel like you can't send it in with these things anymore. It's kind of getting a bit bad. Quick release mount on the other side, on the wrong side. Let's see what else we got here. All right, got a nice little side pick. All right, I think, yeah, overall pretty fun looking bike. I think I like the colors you chose and you kind of maxed it out. I think some of your cables might be a little bit long, but other than that, not too bad. I think these headset spaces don't really match. They're like slightly off, but yeah, you probably can't do much about that. I do like these old style bottle cages with the little plastic bits, the little elite ones. I think they're pretty cool. Nice crank set with rear mech as well. Nice tires going on, some blackjacks. They run pretty quick. And then got some biopaste on there as well. Yeah, overall pretty sick. Not too much to it. Yeah, just fixed up those things there. And I think you're looking pretty good. Thanks, Billy. Thanks for sending in. All right, next up is Kai. And he says, review. He says, Gary, love the videos. Just finished building this one. And it's a giant XTC. I say review in a subject, but if you don't like it, then feel free to roast. All right, Kai. I think it looks pretty good. I do like it. I think it looks like a fast type of bike, kind of like street / gravel bike. Crank arm is straight, no bottle cage. So Kai doesn't get thirsty. Respect that. Upgraded the rear mech to a wide cassette, running 1x. Gotta roast you for the quick release on the wrong side though, that's for sure. And yeah, overall pretty sick. Looks like a nice fast bike. Yeah, wanting run by. I think the color scheme looks pretty good too. It's got a no trespassing sign, which is a shame. Like beautiful nature here, but someone owns it or something. Someone owns this piece of land, so you can't go look at it. That's a shame. I will roast you for the non-matching bottle. Okay, sorry, just wanted to attach this video as well to show my cool planking technique. Alright, let's watch this. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Alright, I'll give you a 10 out of 10 for that. Appreciate it, Kai. Thanks for sending in. Alright, next up is J-Dog. So he just wants to review. A lot of reviews this time. I think people getting scared probably. He has replaced the BB, crankset, derailleur, cassette, brakes, handlebars, and stem. Looking for a review. In your honest opinion. Thanks. Okay, my honest opinion is I felt like I've done this bike before. That's my honest opinion, but just the background looks very similar. But I will give you my honest review. So first up, I'd say the saddle to the handlebar, the reach seems a little bit too far forward. So I feel like your back might be hurting a little bit. You might be stretching over the front. I think the frame looks good, looks like nice and clean. Looks like you cleaned up the crankset. Looks like you cleaned up the cassette on the back, and the rear mech looks pretty good. I like the wheel set, looks like a nice wheel set. Some Alex rims on the back and an Araya on the front, but at least you match the silver, so that's good. Looks pretty clean. Yeah, honestly, looks pretty good. Not too much to it. He sent me the parts that he replaced it with. I'm not sure why he sent me this. Maybe this just proof that he did it. This is how it was before, maybe. Is that the old one or the new one? I can't tell. I feel like this has got to be the new one because, yeah, because I don't think he would put like a longer stem on here, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? And then this is Altus, Black Cranks, Olivio. I feel like he might have upgraded this, but I can't tell. What do you guys think? I'm not sure. I can't tell what he did. All right, there you go. Thanks, J-Dog. All right, next up is Alit, and it says, "Hi, Garam Alit from Bali," or Alit. "Love your YouTube channel. Thanks, Alit. Here's my bike. I built my bike from pre-made stuff, and then the frame stainless steel. Doesn't know what the brand is. Advice on what to upgrade, and he wants a roast. So, first of all, I'm going to roast him for having too many holes in his saddle. Looks like something's gone on a bit crazy in Bali here. I don't know if you've been chucking your bike to go fishing or whatever, and then or the piranhas ate your saddle, but a little bit weird with this standing out. I'm not sure what this what's going on back here with like a strummer derailleur protector, but it's not going over the derailleur, so I feel like that's the problem. I feel like your tires have matched his age, too old. Your front rim wear is a little bit toast, I think, compared to your back one. Easy bits, crank arm not straight, bottle cage, no bottom bottle cage. Everything else looks kind of cool. I'd say your rack is a little bit not level, so that's an issue. But I like how you made everything silver, and I can see how these are black and you made them silver, and that looks pretty cool. Got a little bit of rust here on your headset. You can probably sand that off. Yeah, overall pretty good. Not too much to roast on this one. Pretty clean type of build, I think. You got Sora. You're running Sora on the right, Dior on the left. Yeah, not too bad. Looks like a fun bike. Upgrades. I would. I don't know. Not too much to upgrade. I don't think. I would probably just take this off. You don't really need it if it's not over the derailleur. I think the cranks are pretty good. I would probably maybe upgrade your front rim. That's probably a hard upgrade to do, but upgrade your front rim and then you're looking pretty good. You can also see these are disc brake rims or a disc brake hub that he put in. You can see the bolts here, and then he flipped it the wrong way as well, but what can you do? Overall pretty sick though. Can't beat a black and silver bike. Oh, okay, yeah, upgrade. Best thing to upgrade your tires and then get rid of these ugly piss-stained ones, and then you'll have a pretty nice bike. Oh, maybe upgrade the saddle too. All right, next up is Oscar. Oscar says, "Roast my bike. Hello Gary, big fan of channel since a couple years back. Thanks, Oscar. Please roast my bike. I've been building for a couple months. This is my everyday commuter with Stritzlin and Dior. Cheers from Sweden." Cheers, Oscar. All right, this is his bike. Definitely got the Stritzlin stees with the high post high bars. And what do you want? You want a roast. Okay, roast, I'm going to say, yeah, too much too much bar showing, too high a rise bar. I think your frame is basically too small, so going to roast you for a frame being too small. Going to roast you for not having no bottle mounts. Gonna roast you for chain tension here. Seems a little bit baggy, too baggy of a chain. Let's see what else we can roast. Gonna roast you for your V-brake levers being too spread out, too wide apart here, too far apart. Probably take you a long time to kind of clamp down on that. And then here he's got XT on the back. Here you can really see the baggy chain going on. Yeah, that's basically it, I think. Overall, not too bad. I do like the DTH's upgrade, and it looks like a pretty fun commuter ride. But yeah, overall, that's it. Nice GT. Cheers, Oscar. Thanks for sending it in. All right, next up is Jurica. Looking forward to hearing from the Gary. Got some specs here. By the way, pictures are too dark and I had to change the brightness, so feel free to roast. But then he put review in his subject, so All right, first up, gonna roast him for sending me a cartoon picture. This is the second roast. Is gonna be what he said, basically backlit photos. So all the light is in the back and his bike is in shadow. All right, so he just wants a review. Okay, overall seems pretty sick. I like the bar upgrade. I like the stem, looks pretty cool. I like the rigid forks and the fatter tires. I like the Ardent Race front and back. That'd be pretty fast. Upgraded back to Dior Pro 1x12, 1x11. 2 bottles in bottle cages, but crank arm's not straight. Got a dropper post upgrade there. Got a gold chain. I don't know about that, but not my favorite, but if you like it, that's cool. Some bar tape on here. I feel like that's a little weird. Not sure why he did that. Maybe he has like a bag or something that goes against it. Do you like this big light on the front? That looks cool. And I think that give you a lot of light as well. And yeah, again with all the mounts on the forks, but not using them. Looks like you upgrade the wheel set as well, which would make it pretty fast. All right, yeah, overall pretty sick. Yeah, I always love a Kona, so I think this is pretty good. Pretty fun bike overall. Yeah, nice. Thanks, Jurika. All right, next up is David, and he says, "Hey Gary, I love channel, roast away on my 80s Haro Impulse." All right, first roast is crank arm not straight, not bottle cages, no bottle in bottle cages, and he's also got the cool frame with the cool mounts for the bottle cages where you can stack them both like that along the down tube, but didn't make use of them. So unfortunate about that. I'm gonna say he's a little too matchy with all the yellow going on here. It doesn't really match, I think, but it kind of went with it anyway. Let's see if we've got any more close-up pics. It's got kind of like a full cockpit going on here. Bottle bag, friction shifters, got Auri grips, crazy Spider-Man foam mount thing. A lot of straps on his jack the rack. This cool. I like this cool Haro graphic, kind of like architecture sketch style. And then got these MKS pedals. I think these are like Sullivan pedals or something like that. Running 3x, U-brake on the back. Got the dork disc going on. Got a roasty for the dork disc. And XC Pro 700, 7000. Got these old style Araya rims. Let's see if he's got matching rims or not. Yeah, I don't think it's got matching rims. So roast for that. But yeah, overall pretty sick. Not too much to this one. Maybe roast you for the quick release lever in the wrong position, but yeah, not a big deal really. All right, nice one. Thanks, David. Thanks for sending in. Cheers. All right, next up is Graham. Graham sent an email, but he didn't send any pictures. So, all right, here's his pictures. All right, so this is his bike. Specialized mountain bike. What's going on with this post? It looks a little bit bent, but can't tell from this picture. All right, so it looks like you upgrade the cassette here, Specialized rock hopper, newer model, 1x12. It looks like his chain could be struggling a little bit because it's not on the last cog yet, but I feel like it's pretty stretched. Maybe it's all right. All black look, I like it. Pretty sick. Not sure what forks are these. Okay, Suntour forks. It's got that. Gonna roast you for this. You already know why. Yeah, overall not too bad. It's got bottle in bottle cage, crank arm is straight. Black bikes, they look good in my opinion. Can roast you for the non-matching tires and then non-matching colored spokes here. But yeah, that's basically it. Overall pretty sick though. Thanks, Graham. All right, next up is Daniel. Daniel loves the specs, and let's see what he's got here. He said he found a bike for 20 bucks, so let's see what he's got. Let's look for a side pick. All right, overall pretty sick. He didn't say anything in the subject except for the spec of the bike, so I assume he just wants a normal review. Yeah, overall pretty sick. No bottle cages again. Yeah, I've actually had this Peugeot before, Peugeot Prologue. It's a pretty nice bike, pretty fast. I used to have drop bars on it. have this stem, so I can see that it's mostly a stock bike. He might have cleaned it up a bit. He definitely changed it to flat bars. I feel like your levers is a little too straight for your position. Otherwise, your elbow would have to go like this. But I like these old school cages. I used to run these. But yeah, I like flat pedals better now. But yeah, overall pretty sick. It's got non-matching housing cable, but yeah, not too bad. I'm probably not a fan of these shifters, but yeah, if you need something to get you going. Nice seat there. Some Tektro brakes. Yeah, not too bad. Nice bike. Cheers, Daniel. All right, next up is Elias, and he said, "Roast, hey Gary, enjoy your vids. Thanks, Elias." Okay, here's a bike I recently put together for my girlfriend. Pretty stoked on how it turned out. I think it's always funny when you build a bike for your girlfriend and then he's stoked on it, but his girlfriend doesn't really care. So yeah, roast, the girlfriend roast. All right, so first up, girlfriend bike. Let's see. First foremost, you got to make sure she's comfortable. So I feel like the position is too stretched out and she's not going to be comfortable. I guarantee you 100%. No bottom bottle cage, crank arm not straight. I feel like red is a good color. It's pretty neutral color for your girlfriend, so I think she wouldn't mind. She would appreciate the basket. I think the basket's a nice touch, definitely carrying stuff everywhere. Non-drive size shot only, it seems, so gotta roast you for that. Overall, pretty clean, I think. Pretty clean build. It looks like you got some type of guard on the front, which I think is good for commuters or new riders, so they don't get their pants caught in the chain. You do have dock this though, so I'm gonna couple of points off for that one. But yeah, overall pretty sick. I think maybe change the riding position to be a bit more comfortable, and I think she'll love it. Awesome, thanks Elias. Cheers. All right, next up is Xavier, and he said, "Roast, something different for you, Omnium." He says, "Omniums can get a bit nom-core here, so I want to make it special. Got an artist friends to paint it, 2K epoxy on top. He also makes custom rack canvas, pretty stock drivetrain and brakes need a smaller chainring and wider bars. Def needs a good roast. Cheers from a fellow Melburnian in Copenhagen." Ah, awesome, okay. So my first roast is, this is a great example of why people, as Xavier says, go nomcore with their bike, because look at this, it's just looks so obscene with all the colors and everything going on. Yeah, there's a reason why. Even spray painted the stand here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, it looks like, I think if Xavier's from Melbourne, looks like this bike was left at Hosier Lane overnight and then you just picked it up the next morning. That's kind of what it looks like. Got some random graphics here. Not sure if this was kind of thought about or not. All right, this is pretty cool. Little kryptonite lock position on the back wheel. I think that's cool. I think fender spacing is a little bit uneven from the back to the front. Running 1 by probably 9 on the SRAM. All right, got the little toolkit here. Got this mysterious box on the front. Not sure what that is. Got the fender on the front. Again, too close to the back, too much space on the top. Got the light, which is good. I'm assuming there's tools in here. Makita. Could be just this lunch though or something. Got this aluminum bottle cage at the handle. I feel like that would be pretty handy. And I feel like his levers are pointing straight down, so I don't know about that position. Let me check the side pick if he's got one. Again, it's got a lot of picks on this one. All right, I think his levers are probably too far facing down. Otherwise, he has to be like super, super tall. We'll go back to the side pick to see. Yeah, they're kind of like straight down. So I feel like unless he's up on his bike a lot, then I feel like this would be kind of uncomfortable. Or he never uses his brake, so there's that too. I feel like this brake cable is getting a little bit long. but he doesn't want to cut it for some reason. And yeah, that's basically it. Overall, Xavier, I think it's a pretty cool bike. I think one of the things with having this Omnium spray painted like this is you never have to worry about anyone stealing it. So there's that. Thanks, Xavier. All right, next up is Scotty G. Scotty G says review and done it up a bit, looks like. Looking at getting a new crank. Have you got any recommendations? Okay, so for this bike, I would say maybe get some non-pin cranks. I'd say because most of your stuff is pretty low end, just get a low end one, maybe like a 200 LX or 300 LX crank or an Altus crank. That'd be nice for you. Nice for this bike. Overall, I like the upgrades. I like the stance of it. Looks pretty cool. I don't like grip shift, but if you like it, that's cool. Cable length looks good. You even matched up the valves with the tires, or match up the valve with the PSI. Respect for that. Matching wheels, matching tires, matching brakes, matching brake levers, I assume. Yeah, overall pretty sick. Not too many colors on this bike either. Just yellow, silver, and I guess you say black. But yeah, overall pretty sick. Looks good. Nice kind of minimal build. Nice one, Scott. Thanks for sending. All right, next up is Ricardo, and he says review. Hi, Gary, I have another gravel conversion for you. It's hard to see this in the background, but the front wheel is laced in a snowflake pattern. I named this build Secura Snowflake. All right, it just wants a review. So, all right, review overall pretty sick. I like these Billy Bonkers, the lighter tan color ones. I like matching rims. Crank arm is straight, which is good. 1x7. I like the white grips, white saddle. That's a nice match with the front of the bike. Pretty tasteful overall. Saddle's brand new. You can even see the sticker on the bottom still. The background looks pretty cool too. Even matching the colors with the background with the nice flowers there. Yeah, pretty sick overall. Is this flip backwards? Can't tell. I think that's probably the correct way. Can't remember. Yeah, nice clean bar job. Handlebar tape job. Well done. Yeah, overall looks sick. Nice build. Not too much to complain about. I think here, if you want, you can align the brake arms a little bit straighter on this side. You can see it's leaning over to the right. There's a little screw right here. You just screw that in, maybe like half a turn or 2 turns, and then it'll put more pressure on the spring and center it. But yeah, overall pretty sick. XT on the back. Nice paint job. P.S. I added a bottle holder, of course, and a bottle too. All right. I was going to roast him for that, but looks like he did it. So yeah, respect to that. Thanks, Ricardo. Nice bike. All right, next up is Andre. And Andre sent 2 emails without photos. So that's an issue. All right, so Andre, nothing came through. All right, next up is Anthony Roast. Hey guys, give us a roast. Mount Franklin Fuji bike. Built it up without any idea what I was doing. Haha. Anthony. So classic Anthony always says, he's the type of guy that always says, I had no idea what I was doing, but ends up building a pretty nice bike, you know? So obviously he's trying to set expectations really low and then send you a bike like this. So, all right, overall, I'd say pretty nice, matching everything. The reach is a little bit long here. Your top tube is probably too long for you, but it might be all right. I feel like, yeah, be a little bit stretched out. Maybe it's okay for a fast bike like this. Crank arm not straight, no bottle in bottle cage, no bottle cage. Running brake on the front on a fixed gear, so lose a few points for that. Got some straps there, which is good. That's basically it. I feel like you did pretty good for not knowing what you're doing, but I think Anthony actually knows what he's doing, because only a true seasoned pro would know to put actual cork ends in his bars. That's kind of like someone who's been riding for at least 30 years. But he did put a brake on the front, so kind of contradicting there. But yeah, anyway, nice bike overall. Thanks, Anthony. All right, next up is Puck. Hi, Gary. Hope you're doing well. He said roast me in his subject. It's always funny when someone says oi to start off with. Frame's not in production anymore. He kept it relatively standard, except for some obvious changes. All the best, Puck. Hope the pics open because they show iPhone and aren't automatically JPEGs. Alright, this is his bike and he wants a roast. First up, gonna roast your bike for having a big pole in the center of your bike. Feels like this was kind of not really thought out for you to kind of have that on your bike. Gonna roast you for this crankset. Looks like a real cheap kind of crankset, so I can't tell if this bike is cheap or expensive. It kind of looks like it wants to be an expensive bike, but it has all like kind of the markings of like a cheap bike as well. So I think that's a little sus there. I do like the overall kind of stance of it. It looks pretty comfortable. It looks pretty upright, but it is a small bike, so it's probably he's probably quite tall on this bike, I would imagine. And it's got his tires matched up, new tires, which are pretty nice. Got the old stand going on. Got probably a 3-speed or some type of internal hub system on the back. Cabling's pretty nice. Missing stem spaces on the stem cap here. Yeah, I'm unsure what this pole is for. I guess this pole would be for structure, for kind of the cargo on both back and front. But he doesn't actually have anything on it, so can't really see how that works. And it's got some BMX bars on the front. Gonna roast him for grip shift, of course, but he might need it for the internal here. Running these drum brakes, Moto style drum brakes, I'm pretty sure. Or is it just a big rotor? Gonna roast you for having a light on the back, but no light on the front. Here's his light on the front, but it's not on the end of the tube though. So by design, I'd say that's probably a miss. Here's more close up of the Nexus brake action, half drum maybe. And yeah, overall this is bike, pretty sick though. Black and white, Stormtrooper styles. Got some bands going on here. I feel like these bands probably don't do much. Maybe they're just to tie on cargo. But yeah, overall this is it. I do like these tires. I think they're pretty good. Pretty grippy. Alright, nice one. Puck, thanks for sending. Alright, next up is AAPVISXYZ. Yo, Gary, thank you so much for your content. Extremely helpful and inspiring. Thank you, Floyd. I appreciate that. And then got some info here. I've been working on it for a pretty long time since my video, the seat post video. So yeah, got some stuff from Japan apparently. I stripped original brake lever bodies, black paint, revealed the engraving brandings. Alright, let's look at that. Floyd from Netherlands. Alright, pretty sick build overall. He just wants a review. I do like these. You don't see it much, but I do like the anodized seat posts matching the anodized stem. You rarely see that matched too often, but I think this actually looks pretty cool. I like the tones of this bike, like all kind of muted colors here. Pretty good. Even the green bottle works fairly well. Yeah, overall pretty clean build. Got some new tires on here. The rim, I would say, has a bit of wear on it, so maybe that's the next thing to upgrade. But yeah, overall it looks pretty comfy bike. I like the saddle, of course, there's a turbo, and the bars look pretty comfy. Got some nice cranks here with a upgraded chainring, looks like. Crank arm straight, bottle cage, pedals straight as well. Cool background, I like this background. Quick release lever on the wrong side. Easy fix for you though, Floyd. Yeah, overall pretty sick bike. Pretty sweet. Here's a back shot. It's got the medium chain ring. Nice color, matches his frame. Close up here, Dior LX cranks. These are probably 94 BCD. Got some MKS pedals. XT on the back, clean cassette, clean chain. Nice cables as well. Nice grey Arrow grips. Here's the levers it's talking about. Send them back and you can see the little engraving here. Die comp. Pretty cool. And then I got the Simwork bars here. Yeah, overall really sick. I like the color palette of this. Everything kind of matches and kind of goes together. Can definitely tell Floyd's a classy guy. And yeah, this is his bike. All right, we'll do one last one. This is Sergio. Sergio from Portugal just wants a review. Feel free to review or roast, make it a mix if you want. Had it for 6 months, do it all bike. Didn't want to do drop bars because it stretched out too much. Good idea. Changed some components. Kept it what it could. Okay, looks like did a pretty good job. Sergio, okay. Overall pretty sick. I love this crank set. It almost looks like a 4x, but it's a 3x. But yeah, it looks beast. Definitely would get him around anywhere that he wants. No bottom bottle cage, got to roast him for that. Everything else looks pretty sick, I think. I like the subtle colors on the brakes here, on the orange and orange grips, but it does match the kind of deep purple and the orange of the Trek, the shadow. Yeah, the stance looks cool. The position looks pretty comfy. I like these little bar end things. I was thinking of putting on these on my e-bike soon. But yeah, Sergio already did it. Michelin country tires. I heard these roll pretty decent as well. Let's see what else he's got. All right, got some orange, rare orange Avid levers. I don't think I've ever seen these, not even like photos online. So respect for that. Matching Avid brakes. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I do like the tone of these orange better than the grips. I think the more muted looks a bit better. But yeah, still pretty cool. Eastern bars, Eastern Monkey bars. These are light bars from back in the day. Sent some more high-res pictures. Appreciate that. Yeah, overall pretty sick. Nice ones, Van. I think that's super cool. All right, that's basically it. Hope you guys liked the video. If you sent, I'll get to it soon. Queue is at 1:15. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Catch you next time. Peace.